Today I want to talk about how my detox was from smoking cannabis. Awful. Awful. Kind of scary, honestly, at certain points. It's withdrawal, and if you've ever withdrawn from anything, it's an experience. If you've never withdrawn from something, I'm happy for you. My cats will probably photobomb a little bit. They always must be near me. I wanted to do this video outside, but it is cold and windy. I live in the mountains, so the wind just kind of dips down and around, and it's cold. So my detox was in January of 2021. It is November of 2021 right now. I think it's the 12th. I last smoked in the last week of January. I can't remember the exact date, 27th maybe. I took a week break and smoked and had a terrible reaction. I'm pretty sure I went into anaphylactic shock. So like I had an allergic reaction. It was terrifying. I kind of felt like I was dying. Like, really. I will never ever smoke again. I won't even consume THC oil. Like, I did take CBD oil a little bit occasionally, but I haven't done that in months just because I'm so thrown off by cannabis in general. I don't want any of it. That's crazy, coming probably from the fact that it's becoming legalized now, and of course they would open a dispensary now that I don't smoke anymore. Because I smoked for 8 years. I started smoking to help me sleep because I had issues sleeping whenever I was in college. It turned into helping me eat and just kind of then became an everyday habit. I smoked so consistently because in 2014 I was diagnosed with a handful of gut issues, and I went through a phase where I just couldn't eat anything without having a reaction or being sick, or I got to the point where like I was housebound for a little while. I couldn't work. Like, life was a little bleak for a few years because I had no idea, no doctors could help me. So the only thing that did help me was smoking. So I would smoke like anytime I needed to eat, anytime I was sick. It was basically my answer for everything. When I was sad, like literally anything. I used it as medicine. I used it like recreationally whenever I would hang out with friends. So when I stopped smoking, it literally, my life kind of got turned upside down, and I had to like remember what my life was like before I started smoking. Which a lot of people are like, I'll never stop smoking, or I could never stop smoking because I have anxiety, or because I have depression, or so and so. I've got to say that I would have said that same thing in the past whenever I used to be a chronic smoker, and I used to love weed, cannabis, loved it. Like, and I 100% believe in the medicinal properties that it has and how it helps people, especially people with like terminal illnesses and stuff. Like, smoke one. You deserve it. Unless you have a bad reaction like me, then stay away from it. Sometimes that anxiety that comes with smoking is actually your body's way of telling you that you are mildly allergic to it. Have you ever like gotten too high before? A reaction kind of feels like that. It's just like super anxious, and you're really sensitive, and you're sensitive to light, you're sensitive to music, you're sensitive to all kinds of sounds, like, I mean, any sound. Like, whenever I was having my reaction, my severe reaction, I got so bad I couldn't talk. Like, I couldn't talk, I couldn't lift my legs. My legs were like, stiff, like straight out stiff. My heart rate was everywhere. Like I was having issues breathing. Like, when I say I felt like I was dying, I mean it. Like, it was terrible. It was so bad that I thought, oh no, I did see my like ethereal body. So I saw the energy in the color that surrounds your body. Like, everyone has one, like how you talk auras. Like, I could see my aura color in my mind's eye. It's gold. Not how you really want to see that though. I had to lay down on the couch. Thankfully, my boyfriend was with me, and he just gave me a bunch of water. I think I had pickle juice at the time. I really can't remember. It's been a while. It was a rough experience. Like, I was struggling to remain conscious because I didn't know what was going to happen to me if I lost consciousness. So I fought back with a vengeance. Lasted for, it felt like hours. Like, it wasn't, but it felt like hours in that time. Like, every second was agonizing. I think it may have been like 45 minutes, maybe an hour at most. I finally like calmed down. I had to have all the lights off. I was in a dark room. There was no sound. Yeah, I was just drinking a bunch of water. At this point, if anything ever happens to you like that, like, I would suggest a bunch of electrolytes. I probably would have felt a lot better if I would have taken a Benadryl at the time, but I didn't know what was happening to me and why I reacted the way I did, especially since I smoked every day for like 8 years. Well, in the months following, because I had to kind of like relearn how to do things, and my body reacted really bad to no longer having it. Like, I went through withdrawal symptoms where I detoxed like it didn't start getting better until 2.5, 3 months later. So around my birthday, happy birthday to me, I was no longer like super struggling. So I'd get really dizzy. I actually couldn't shower very often because, like, I shower every day. It's a thing that I've done like my entire life. But whenever I was going through my detox phase, I couldn't get hot. Like, it was 58 degrees up here in my house in the middle of winter. I had to keep it cold. Like, whenever I would have an episode or feel really like weak and lethargic and like anxious, I would have random anxiety attacks too. Like, they would just randomly happen. Like, crippling anxiety attacks. I'd have to open the windows in the middle of the winter, and I'd lay next to the window, and the cold air would like, thinking about it now, it would make my like inflammation go down, because like when you're inflamed, your body's like hot and swollen, and the cold air kind of suppresses that. It would help me be able to breathe, and I would eventually start to calm down. I was also, it would deplete my electrolytes. Like, I've always had issues with electrolyte imbalance and just like dizziness. Like, I used to have random fainting spells whenever I was younger. I've never really been able to figure it out. They would always just say, you know, drink a lot of water, eat more salt. Well, okay. Thanks. I eat a lot of salt. I also eat a very healthy diet. When you eat a healthy diet, especially like more low carb, you tend to need more salt, because without carbs, your body kind of goes through your electrolytes faster, because carbs help your body to store in some of your electrolytes. Without it, they kind of go through you more, and when you drink water, it just flushes you out. So instead of like your body holding on to some extra water and some extra minerals from your food and salts, it just runs right through you. Yep, there's a bean right back there. Which one is that? Oh, that's Astral Babe. Ooh, speaking of, I could use some water. It's a good example. So, yeah, one of these. I would fill it up there. I would put 6 bottles of water in here. It'd be like up here. And I'd put added electrolytes in it. And I would drink one of these a day. So like 6 bottles of water, one of these a day. And extra salt on my food. I was also really sensitive to foods too. Like, I had to stop eating lectins, like the anti-nutrients that are in plants. So I had to stop eating like peppers, nightshades, potatoes, tomatoes. What else? I think I was a little sensitive to chocolate for a while, which sucked because I am a chocoholic through and through. What else? Oh, I was drinking kefir and like milk products when this all first started. And I remember one time I drank some kefir before I was going to go to bed, because it was like my ritual. I would drink kefir with my magnesium before I'd go to sleep. Well, the kefir ended up messing with me really bad. Because my ears would ring whenever like I would start having a reaction. It would kind of, could slowly feel it. It would be like a rising feeling. It still happens occasionally, because I'm not even hit my year mark yet. So if I don't eat enough salt, I'll still get a little woozy. I'm not nearly as shaky as I used to be. I used to shake a lot, like just like nervous type of shaking, or like I just didn't have a steady hand, which kind of sucks for me whenever this is all going on, because I'm an artist. I draw, I paint, like it's how I kind of spend my time, like my downtime. So for a few months, like I couldn't even like have the outlet to draw. I really didn't feel too good to even do it. But whenever I would eat, it would be like meats. So like for a little while, I was eating fish and like eggs for breakfast. I slowly incorporated yogurt, switched to coconut yogurt and some fruit. The coconut yogurt helped a lot with the reaction to dairy, because I could not have any dairy. Like I was saying, the kefir, I drank that one day and I could just feel it like rising slowly, the like weird dizzy, it almost feels, you can feel your frequency in your body like change in a negative sort of way. Like you just start feeling kind of wavy. And eventually, like once it starts to get like in your heart area, up in here, like you need some salt. Seriously, pickle juice, bone broth, sauerkraut sauerkraut juice. I would eat like handfuls of sauerkraut, or eat a pickle. Bone broth was a lifesaver. I literally drank my day, what I ate a day, like when my first few months when it was really rough. I ate, okay, let's see. I would eat fish in the morning. So I would eat like a little plate of fish and like maybe a tiny bit of vegetables. And by vegetables, I mean like some leafy greens, like low lectin leafy greens, like collard greens or like carrots. Or I would eat like an omelet, same thing, like some collard greens. I'd put in like onion powder. I'm trying to remember what I ate. I ate a lot of meat. I would eat like bacon and eggs. Like lunch would be yogurt with a little bit of fruit, no sweetener, and I would put hemp seeds and cacao nibs in my yogurt like the night before and let it sit so it'd get real soft. Eat that, and usually like a salad, like a big salad, like with pickles. I would put pickles, sauerkraut, seaweed, like seaweed little sheets, and just rip them up and put them in there. Olive oil. Instead of using dressing, I would mash the avocado, like that would be my dressing. I'd put a bunch of salt in there. I would just eat a salad for a while, and then later on I kind of slowly, like, let's try some chicken, see how this goes. Like, let's try some bison, let's see how this goes. I was really afraid to try anything because I didn't want my body to backfire, and I already felt like crap. So if I felt bad and I ate something I wasn't supposed to, it was just 10 times worse. It would also make my cycles even harder too when I would eat something that I wasn't supposed to or my body didn't agree with. So whenever my time came in the month to expel and shed, detox all of the stuff that I had consumed in the month, it would make my cramps worse and make the dizziness worse. It would also like make my heart rate like race. I could tell when I was getting ready to start to, which helped me like get on track with my cycles as well, is because I still do, like I started yesterday, last night, a few days before, about a week before, my heart will still kind of race. Like it'll just, it's my hormones fluctuating, and I just can feel the sensitivity in me. I usually need to eat more salt whenever that happens. I usually need to eat like more carbs as well. Like I had a bowl of oatmeal this morning. I don't always do that. If you eat oatmeal and you react to it, try to soak it overnight with a little splash of apple cider vinegar and some water. Cover it, let it soak. Should help. Getting off track here though. So yeah, it was a lot. I learned a lot in this last year, kind of like how to reincorporate good habits. Sometimes I still struggle with that because I am afraid that I'm going to get dizzy and feel weird. Like for a while, I was completely housebound. Like when this went on, I had to have people go to the store for me. Thank God that I had that ability. Like my mom had to go to the store for me, my boyfriend would go to the store for me, my brother would occasionally go to the store for me whenever I needed things, or because I was just afraid to leave the house. Like I would go and I would leave and try to do stuff, and it would just wear me out. I mean, like I would go and I would come back to the house and I would take a nap whenever I finally could like leave the house. I couldn't even shower. Like I went like a week without a shower. But I couldn't like there was no way it would make my heart race. I remember because like my mom takes care of my the elderly in the house. Like my grandma lives here, my grandpa used to live here. My stepdad, there's shower chairs in this house. So I actually had to have a shower chair brought to me and put in the shower whenever I finally like just got super sick of not being able to take a shower. I like got really, really sad for a while too, because I just wanted to shower and take care of myself and I couldn't. So that brings up to whenever this is going on and you're detoxing, let's just talk about the emotional bit of this. All of your suppressed emotions and feelings and thoughts, even your dreams, come flooding back to you. I mean, I had the craziest dreams. Absolutely insane. Like, super vivid. Sometimes I would wake up in a panic and I would have a panic attack in the middle of the night. Like, it was a thing for months. I did not have a sound sleep. Like, I remember the first night that I didn't wake up in a panic, and it was like 4 or 5 months in, maybe 5 months. I'm probably about closer to 5 months. And I was like, oh my God, like I slept all the way through. Like, got up to pee, but I slept. Because I could feel my heart racing in the middle of the night. I would have like really vivid dreams, scary dreams sometimes. Like, I had past life dreams even. So I feel like it's like dream backup. So any dreams, because when you smoke, if you smoke, or you don't dream. Like, you can't really remember your dreams when you're a smoker. I went years without being able to dream. I couldn't remember them. I didn't think I even dreamed. Like, you dream because you're asleep. Like, even people who don't remember their dreams, like, you're dreaming, you just don't remember them. Also, part of not being able to dream if you don't smoke is nutritionally based. Like, if you're missing some sort of nutrient that is keeping you from being able to remember your dreams. It is awful to like not be able to healthily be able to go through your emotions. And I used to be one of those people that would like block my emotions out when I was younger. Before I really started smoking, I would just kind of like numb myself to things. Like, that's not healthy. Don't do that. I wish I could have go back in my past self, look, I know, and I had people tell me that it wasn't healthy, but maybe I would have listened if it was my like past self, like coming in being like, yo, don't. All like emotions that I had over the 8 years that I didn't really get to feel all the way, because whenever you are high, you don't really feel everything like consciously. Your body and your energy and your frequency feels it all and remembers it all, but you consciously don't whenever you're high, until you're sober and you're like, why do I feel like this? What's this? Where is this coming from? It's just past buildup that is coming to resurface, so you can handle it mindfully, more gently, just acknowledge it and try to like take responsibility for certain things and of your life, or let things go that you don't serve you anymore. I would get angry randomly. I would get really sad sometimes. Like, you learn to be softer with yourself too, because you don't really understand what's happening when it's happening, and you can't find a like foundation for why some of the feelings are happening. It'll come in time. Like, you'll figure out why and where, and like what part of your life that you just didn't deal with very well, and like I had a bad breakup in 2016, and even though I let a lot of the like sadness out, and like, it was a traumatic breakup, honestly. Not on my part. I just didn't want to deal with it when it happened, so it would randomly surface throughout the day, like when I would just be, you know, doing stuff, or when I would have dreams, like I would see my past significant other in my dreams. I would get out, but you know, you got to deal with like whatever shows up. I had a past pet come and visit me in my dreams. Actually, it was a good thing. Like, but it was stuff that you just wouldn't really expect. Whenever this was all happening too, and I was housebound, I literally, I'm not a couch potato. I don't sit a lot. I'm a very active person, very creative. I'm just all over the place. I'm a very high energy person. I'm starting to get the high energy back, and like the motivation, it kind of comes in waves. But when this all like first happened, I literally did nothing but watch TV. I would read. I would watch TV and read and eat and cuddle my cats and my boyfriend when he was here. I did hardly anything. Whenever the first 3 months, I couldn't do anything, and I had to be soft with myself to tell myself like that it was okay and that I will get better. And I had a nice support system that would tell me like, this isn't forever. You will get better. You will get stronger. I couldn't work out. I could hardly do yoga. Sometimes whenever I would even meditate, it would make me dizzy and I would feel weird. Meditating, like even meditating. I'm a very sensitive person, but I just had to take a break for a while. I really had to consciously take care of myself and filter my thoughts, and it's been a journey. This year has been a serious journey. I never thought that I would stop smoking. I always thought that I would, you know, always smoke. Well, maybe stop eventually, but this isn't how I thought that I would stop smoking. So if you feel like you're stuck and depressed and just kind of like miss your old self before you started smoking, from me to you and also me to my past self, you'll feel better when you stop smoking, because you'll get your life back. I have so much time to focus on the things that I want to do. I have the like concentration ability to be able to finish a whole blog post, write out anything I want from start to finish. I can finish a drawing instead of starting a doodle, doing the outline, and then forgetting about it, and then a month later doing the same thing all over again. Or you won't waste the time where you'd be like, I need to smoke before I go into town and go to the store. Or you'll take care of your adult stuff better, because you won't have this weird anxiety whenever you call people to take care of business and pay bills and all this other important stuff. Because I don't know about you, but it stopped me from being able to like properly function, even whenever I wanted to stop, or to stop smoking, or whenever I wanted to like be better, I couldn't bring myself to be better until I completely stopped. I noticed too that I can look in the camera directly now, but whenever I used to make my past videos, I was all over the place and I would look away a lot, and it's just, like a focus, sort of awkward, because it is a little weird to like talk out loud and you're not particularly talking, but you are, because you're talking to people that it's going to help. Like, I know that I am actually talking to somebody. I may not know who this person is, but whoever it is needs to see this video more than likely, and will help them how to deal with their future decisions on letting cannabis go. I really do hope that this helps too with anybody that is struggling with, like, because it is an addiction. They say that you can't get addicted to weed, but you can. It is, it's more of a mental thing. I used to think it was more of a mental thing, but whenever I went to the doctor and they were like, what is wrong with you? Like, they kept asking me if I did drugs. I have never done anything except for smoke. I've taken, I've done mushrooms a handful of times. Maybe like 4, not a lot. Like bigger doses, like 3 times maybe. I've microdosed a handful of times. But I have never actually done any type of like drugs. I used to have a really bad coffee problem. I think everyone has. It's still a drug too. No one wants to hear that, but coffee is still a drug. It's a stimulant. It gets you going. I abused coffee so much in the past, I can't even drink it anymore. It makes my heart feel like it's gonna explode. It makes me super jittery. Just a no for me. But yeah, when I went to the doctor and I was having withdrawal issues, because I had went to the hospital a handful of times because I had no idea what was wrong with me. I didn't know what was going on. It was scary. It would happen to me all the time where I would have these like anxiety attacks. They were crippling and I would shake. I mean, like, I would just shake. I couldn't move. I'd get really weak. I'd get really sensitive to the light and everything, like I mentioned before. Like, I had to lay down. I'd open the window. It would pass in like 45 minutes and stuff. But I would just... I imagine it was like past emotions and stuff that would just randomly cause me to go through the terrible motions of detox and withdrawal. And whenever I would finally chill out and I'd be in the hospital, they'd just tell me that I had a panic attack. That was it. They would test me for all kinds of stuff. Everything came back normal. And every time I went to the doctor or the hospital, they would always ask me if I did drugs. They would drug screen me every single time. And it's like they didn't believe me that I was like, oh, I don't do anything. Like, I used to smoke. I don't smoke anymore. Well, I finally, eventually, after like telling a few doctors that, they were like, I think you're withdrawing from cannabis. And I'm like, what? Couldn't believe it. Yeah, so you can physically detox from cannabis. The weed nowadays is super potent, crazy potent, like medical grade. What is the percentages now? Like 27, 33% THC. That is a lot. Like, our parents and our grandparents, if they smoked that stuff whenever they were our age, they would be in the astrals. Like, my stepdad used to smoke, and whenever he would get like medical grade stuff, because I used to get medical grade from a good friend of mine, he would be on the moon whenever he would smoke. I had one of his friends, actually, whenever he would occasionally come in to visit, I was like, you should try this stuff. Like, this stuff's freaking awesome. Because he would bring like dirt weed, and I was like, God, do you smoke this? Like, oh, I'm sorry. Here, take this. And he'd be like, woo. He'd be running around like, just, super high. It's weird talking about it now too, because it completely doesn't exist in my life, really. I mean, like, it does. There are people around me that smoke, but like, they don't smoke around me. They respect the fact that I don't want it anywhere near me. Like, I've gotten a little bit better at being around it. I was so repulsed by the smell that I would just leave. Like having a reaction like that, so severely, like you're not particularly tolerant of such a thing, even if it is like widely around. But I am kind of like okay about it now. It's like how whenever you're around cigarettes, like I don't like cigarettes. I hate the smell. And you just breathe it in and you feel like someone just karate chopped you in the throat. Like, it's awful. Kind of the same thing where like I don't really want to be around it. I don't want to smell it. Like it's just a funk. I don't want any. But the THC content nowadays, all medical grade, super concentrate, like you can get addicted to that stuff. Your body gets used to having that substance and the cannabinoids, and you can smoke so much that the cannabinoids will basically get rid of your own cannabinoids, because we have a cannabinoid system in our bodies. Like it's compatible with cannabis. We've been smoking this plant for thousands of years. Oh, we've just sort of grown along with it. It's been used in like rituals, ceremonies, even like spiritual type of experiences. It's just been around a long time. But now with tampering with it and making it too strong, I think it may be starting to affect our biology a little too strongly. The doctors, I had a few doctors tell me that they had recently had, I wasn't the only one, but other patients that were having reactions to weed negatively when they would stop smoking. They also told me that I had such a strong reaction because I went cold turkey. Like I just one day I wanted to stop and I stopped because it was making me feel weird too before this all happened. I would get kind of dizzy and I would literally smoke and then drink pickle juice to kind of counterbalance me feeling kind of off a little bit. And it would fix it. Then I stopped and then I tried to do it again. No, just it all stopped after that. So it's been a lot of learning and trial and error this year with like, I feel like I've had an even deeper type of self-discovery since this all happened. And I've always been very introspective and meditating, shadow work, just learning past traumas, trying to get through things that I haven't dealt with, all that kind of stuff. And this has been eye-opening, very eye-opening. And also I want to say that when anybody's detoxing or withdrawing, even if it's not from weed, if it's from something worse, like harder, like meth or fentanyl or alcohol, or I'm not very drug savvy, Subutex or Xanax or anything that, even food. I've detoxed from food. When you go from a standard American diet to a cleaner diet and you take a lot of the like preservatives and bad ingredients and like weird funky food coloring out of your diet, you do detox from that. It is rough. Like you feel like your skin's crawling, you get really irritable. And I just want to say that whenever people are going through this stuff, to be more loving and caring and supportive, and don't be judgmental whenever they're going through this stuff, because they want to get better. They don't want this to be the reality anymore, and their lives will get easier with your help. it's a lot easier to go through life whenever you have somebody to lean on, and when you have somebody that will accept you even if you do mess up. Like, we're a human and we need each other. Even introverts, like I'm super introverted, but I still need the love and affection and support from my family and my friends. And you know, like, my boyfriend's like my rock. And my kitties. He's just been hanging out back there this whole time sunbathing. But yeah, I wanted to make this video because I said something about it in my last video about lectins, which I'll link down in the description below in case you're curious about all that and you have gut issues and you can't really figure out what's going on, because that's why I used to smoke. Like I said, it would kind of cover up the inflammation and the pain and all that kind of stuff. And I want to say also before I go that if you stop smoking, your anxiety will go away, your depression will go away. Not always, like, it just depends. Some stuff is also nutrition based, but you'll be able to handle life more strongly without the crutch of having something to kind of soften life's blows. You'll be able to be present and be there for your family members and for yourself and just life in general. It'll get harder before it gets better, but do not give up. Just be soft with yourself. Enjoy the ride as much as you possibly can. Always reach out if you feel the desire to talk and just need to get things out. Oh, hi, sweet. If you have pets, love them a little extra whenever this is all going through. You're going through it, because they help a lot. They also are very smart, and they know whenever you are going through things. And you ever notice that they come to you whenever you're kind of sad or you don't feel good, or they just kind of sense that you need some love. Hi, sweet. Well, this one wants love right now because he wants me to throw his toy. So with that, I think I'm gonna go. This video is a little longer than I thought it would be, but hey. If you like this video, have any comments, questions, leave them down below. Remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.